Hi, this is Lewis Harrison. Hi, it's Lewis Harrison here at AskLewis.com. And we're going to talk today about some conspiracy theories. I just read a lot of stuff on the internet and I get a lot of Ask Lewis questions. And so the one I got today was about QAnon and the Illuminati. And I don't want to get trolled. I'm not going to be attacking anybody. But I am going to answer the questions. What we're interested in doing here is a lot around game theory, but also about the idea that you can't make up your own reality. And so someone said to me, they keep on getting these links to QAnon, the Illuminati, conspiracy theories about Bill Gates and the COVID virus, and it doesn't make any sense to them. So they wanted me to clarify what seems like conspiracy theories to them. So I'm not going to use this term conspiracy theory as an insult towards anybody, but I do believe in facts, evidence-based facts. And you find out that when you talk to people that have very strong opinions about things, Black Lives Matter, Israel, QAnon, anything that's a strong opinion, sometimes you're going to get someone who's really bright and has really done their homework. They know their facts. They may not agree with you, you may not agree with them, but they know their facts. And when I say facts, I mean there's some evidence to support what they're saying. Most of the time, that's not the case when I talk to people. Most of the time, they just make stuff up. One of the things I dislike the most is dealing with people with strong opinions who have little or no facts to support their point of view. This way of thinking seems to be a little more than gossip at best, and it's dangerous. And it's anti-intellectual rumor mongering at worst. If a person's going to spread some nonsense across the internet, at least they might take the time to gather facts and some evidence-based facts so they can back up what they're saying. Most people who spread these things around have no facts, and if you ask them serious questions, they go blank. So that's the problem with QAnon and the Illuminati. All meme, no facts. So let's deal with QAnon first, and then we'll do that quickly and move on. And the reason why I want to deal with QAnon is because they've been banned from a couple of platforms. President Trump says things like the calm before the storm and references to sort of QAnon. And essentially, there are no facts to support Q. I talk to people all the time who say they're fans of QAnon, they believe in it. But QAnon is a conspiracy theory. And when I say conspiracy theory, what I mean is a bunch of people just make up stuff about what they think is happening, and they have no evidence whatsoever. No evidence or facts whatsoever. So QAnon is a supposed secret plot by an alleged deep state against the U.S. President Donald Trump and his supporters. And I got to tell you that when Trump misspells things, when he says things that make no sense, when he does things that make no sense, his supporters think that's a secret message to them. He really is doing it on purpose. So if you talk to a QAnon believer and ask them simple questions about what is a deep state, or anything else for that matter related to the structure of the U.S. government, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, they usually answer with a narrative that borders on science fiction and fantasy. So one thing they can never offer is evidence-based facts. QAnon is a factless conspiracy theory and nothing more. And that's what makes it dangerous. Would you want someone gossiping about you, making up stories about you? So there's just no facts. So I'm done with QAnon. If you want to believe in that kind of stuff, if you want to live in a world that has no deductive reasoning, no inductive reasoning, no adductive reasoning, no facts, no evidence, you can do that if you want to, but the price you're going to pay is going to be a pretty high one. And I recommend that you get some critical thinking skills and look up facts. And I can tell you how you find out what a fact is. Go to Breitbart. Go to the Hoover Institute, which is a conservative think tank. Go to the Brookings Institute, which is a moderate think tank. Look at MSNBC. Look at Fox News. Look at Al Jazeera. And look at facts that show up in all of those places. And you're going to have something that is probably a fact. Not definitely, but probably. But listen to some guy in his bedroom that doesn't know what the Constitution is, doesn't know what the Bill of Rights is, doesn't know the distinction between the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch of government, but who knows about conspiracies. They're dangerous. They're dangerous to you and they're dangerous to all of us. So let's move on to this thing called the Illuminati. The Illuminati was a real organization once. However, now it's become a silly and dangerous excuse for promoting conspiracy theories of every type. Clearly, the person who began this thread likes to make up stuff and cares little about actual facts. People who spread these lies and false facts usually lack identity or power, and they believe almost anything they are told. They do very little research even when the facts are easily available. These individuals have the capability of getting suspicious about everything. They also tend to blame others for their problems, even though many of their problems are the direct result of their making poor choices and believing inaccurate information. Just the kind of stuff being spread that we talk about here. As for Bill Gates, uncommon myths about how he's funding vaccinations, how he wants people to die, it's just common myths and willful misunderstanding amongst many paranoid conspiracy theorists concerning Bill Gates. They claim that Bill Gates has a lot to do with the working to depopulate the world because he has suggested that by advancing vaccination programs, he hopes that we can reduce the population by 10% over the next few decades. These people seem to have a willful misunderstanding of facts, history, and critical thinking. They often accept a whole range of irrational and illogical myths about Gates, the Rothschilds, the idea that certain people just run the world, a bunch of families, they control the World Bank, they control the Council of Foreign Relations. They just accept what they are told as facts when they're not even close. They've done no research at all. So I'm going to tell you, there are rich people in the world that look to control the game. But if you know anything about the idea of crabs in a barrel or crabs in a bucket, believe me, you can't get 20 rich people to agree about anything. One guy wants to sell weapons. One guy wants to sell food to people in foreign countries through corrupt brokers, and they need peace. Some people want to repair things. Some people want to destroy things. They all have different profit centers, that 1/10 of 1%. So thinking they all get together and have meetings to rule the world just has no facts behind it. Now, the problem for Bill Gates is that he gives money towards all manner of areas of research that people who are not thinking really clearly, they just mark down as bad and evil. Vaccines, climate change, basically anything humanitarian that he supports becomes suspect to them. Now, I don't agree with all that he does or believes, but this conspiracy thing is really getting out of hand. If it was that good a conspiracy, then 100,000 people wouldn't be speaking about it on Facebook. Believe me, any good conspiracy you don't know about. Additionally, like many, many others, Gates has talked about the risks of pandemics. So to people who do no critical thinking, that was basically him announcing what was to come by design, his design. And add to that his comments about SARS, CoV-2, etc. And you've got a recipe for people who, rather than actually making a difference in the world, dedicate their time to trolling, making up lies that go viral on the internet, and gossiping about things for which they know little and care even less. This behavior borders on evil. I think that a big problem for your average paranoid conspiracy fantasist with Bill Gates is that he certainly fits the status of elite with his wealth. But what they can't really stand is that even with his past, and to be diplomatic, his sharp business practices, he's a better person than most of us could ever be. So the good he does must be bad, right? It's difficult to just project their bitter personalities onto him as they generally do. If they had his money and his potential power, they use it to exact revenge on their imagined enemies, from elites to anyone who points out that they are anti-intellectual, emotionally driven, lazy thinking, anti-critical thinking gossipers. Now, back to the so-called Illuminati. Illuminati, owing to its Latin origin, means enlightened, and historically the name refers to the Bavarian Illuminati, an Enlightenment era secret society founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, and he was a professor of canon law and practical philosophy at the University of Ingolstadt, Germany. He founded the Order of Illuminati initially with the support of 5 people, and they resolved to spread the ideas of the Enlightenment. That means open thinking through some sort of secret society of like-minded individuals. They had to do it as a secret society because the Catholic Church would have tried to crush them. What they did was meant for intellectuals to privately group together and oppose the religious and elitist intolerances and do that influence over time. But like the Freemasons, the Bavarian Secret Society faded and got outlawed by the conservative and Christian critics, and the group faded out of existence. However, the Illuminati prevailing today are not that group and don't even really exist. They're outside the influence of the Bavarians, and the phenomenon actually got glamorized after the emergence of a book that was a satire called the Principia Discordia. Now, the Principia Discordia is a Discordian religious text written by Greg Hill and Kerry Wendell Thomey, and the first edition was printed on a Xerox printer in 1963. And the Principia describes a Discordian society and its goddess Eris, as well as the basics of the POEE denomination of Discordianism. It is a silly tract and is meant to be silly. It features typewritten and handwritten text intermixed with clip art, stamps, and seals appropriated from other sources, by the way, often without credit. I think we call that intellectual property theft. So while the Principia is full of literal contradictions and unusual humor, it contains several passages which maybe there was serious content. But the Principia is quoted extensively in and shares many themes with satirical science fiction. It is not a serious book. It is a satire. Get it? You conspiracy theory spewing, non-researching, lazy thinking, and trolling gossips. Stop doing this and dedicate yourself instead to helping others, make a difference in the world, and getting some intellectual chops. Because if you believe these things that have no facts behind them, you will believe anything. And believe me, when bad times come, you're the first people that get thrown overboard. My name is Lewis Harrison. This is Ask Lewis, and we are dedicated to wisdom, intellectualism, critical thinking, and answering serious questions about what makes the world best. What I'm looking to help you do is become more effective, more efficient, more precise, more productive, more self-aware, so that you can have economic independence at the lowest possible cost. To learn more, please subscribe to this channel and go to AskLewis.com to see a lot of blogs about these ideas. And of course, we also have a fan page on Facebook at Ask Lewis. Thanks a lot for listening in, and have a great and successful day. Bye-bye.